Cristiano Ronaldo, the poor boy who refused to give up. Imagine being 12 years old. You pack your bags, you leave your family, you leave your home. You leave the little island where everyone knows you. And you fly to a city where people laugh at your accent, where you feel completely alone, and where the only thing you really have is a football. That was Cristiano Ronaldo before the fame, before the private jets, before the trophies, before the stadiums screamed his name, before the world knew the celebration. Before Siwu became something kids shouted in school playgrounds across the planet. He was just a skinny boy from Madeira with big dreams, a bad temper, and one obsession: to become the best football player in the world. And whether you love him or hate him, one thing is impossible to deny. Cristiano Ronaldo did not become Cristiano Ronaldo by accident. He built himself piece by piece, day by day, training session by training session. And now, as his career enters its final chapter, his story feels bigger than football. Because this is not just the story of a rich athlete. This is the story of a poor kid who refused to stay poor. Cristiano Ronaldo dos Santos Aveiro was born on February 5, 1985, on the Portuguese island of Madeira. Madeira is beautiful, but Ronaldo's childhood was not luxurious. He did not grow up in a mansion. He did not grow up with endless money. He grew up in a small home with his parents and siblings. His mother worked hard to support the family. His father worked as a gardener and also helped at a local football club. That club was called Andorinha, and that is where little Cristiano started playing. To most people, he was just a kid chasing a ball. But to anyone watching closely, there was already something different about him. He hated losing, not disliked it, hated it. If his team lost, he would cry. If someone tackled him, he would get angry. If people said he was not good enough, he would train harder. Even as a child, Ronaldo had this strange fire inside him. Some kids play football because it is fun. Ronaldo played like he was trying to escape something, like every goal was proof that he belonged somewhere bigger. By the time he was still very young, people around him knew he had talent. But talent is one thing, leaving home at 12 years old is another. At only 12, Ronaldo left Madeira and moved to Lisbon to join Sporting CP's academy. For a child, this was not some easy football adventure. This was painful. He was away from his mother, away from his siblings, away from the island he knew. And in Lisbon, he did not always fit in. Other kids made fun of his Madeiran accent. He was homesick. He was lonely. There were nights when he cried because he missed his family. Think about that for a second. Before Ronaldo became the man who looked fearless in front of millions, he was once a scared kid in a dorm room, wondering if he had made a mistake. But he stayed. And slowly the sadness turned into fuel. Every insult became fuel. Every lonely night became fuel. Every person who doubted him became fuel. At Sporting, Ronaldo was not the biggest. He was not the strongest, but he was fast, he was fearless, and he trained like someone who was afraid the dream could disappear at any moment. Then came a moment that could have ended everything. As a teenager, Ronaldo had a heart condition that could have forced him to stop playing football. For most young players, hearing that would be terrifying. Imagine being that close to your dream, and suddenly doctors are talking about your heart. But Ronaldo had treatment, recovered, and returned to training. And when he came back, he did not come back softer. He came back even more determined. By 17, Ronaldo was already playing for Sporting's first team. He was quick. He was flashy. He had stepovers for days. Sometimes he looked like he was doing too much. But that was Ronaldo. He wanted to entertain. He wanted to embarrass defenders. He wanted people to look at him. And soon, one of the biggest clubs in the world was looking. In 2003, Sporting played a friendly match against Manchester United. United's players saw this skinny teenager running at them again and again. He was fearless, he was annoying, he was talented, and after the match, Manchester United moved quickly. Cristiano Ronaldo was going to England. He was 18 years old. He joined one of the biggest clubs on earth, and he was given the number 7 shirt. At Manchester United, that number was heavy. George Best wore it, Eric Cantona wore it, David Beckham wore it, and now it belonged to a teenager from Madeira. At first, Ronaldo was exciting but frustrating. He had tricks. He had speed. He had confidence, but he was not yet the finished product. Sometimes he would do too many stepovers. Sometimes he would shoot when he should pass. Sometimes defenders kicked him, fans mocked him, and critics said he cared more about style than substance. But Ronaldo kept changing. He got stronger. He got faster. He became more direct. He turned himself from a flashy winger into a machine. Then came the 2007 to 2008 season. That was the season Cristiano Ronaldo truly exploded. He scored goals from everywhere. Headers, free kicks. Long shots, penalties, tap-ins. He was no longer just a talented young player. He was becoming the best player in the world. Manchester United won the Premier League. They won the Champions League. And Ronaldo won his first Ballon d'Or. The skinny boy from Madeira had reached the top. But for Ronaldo, reaching the top was never enough. He wanted more. In 2009, he joined Real Madrid. And this is where his story became almost unreal. At Real Madrid, the pressure was different. This was not just a football club. This was a stage. Every match was judged. Every miss was discussed. Every goal was expected. And Ronaldo did not hide from it. He fed off it. Season after season, he scored ridiculous numbers of goals, 50 goals, 60 goals, again and again. He became Real Madrid's all-time top scorer. He won Champions Leagues. He broke records. He turned the biggest competition in club football into his personal stage. There were nights when everyone knew what was coming and still could not stop it. A cross would come into the box. Ronaldo would rise above everyone, and suddenly the ball was in the net. Or Madrid would need a goal in the biggest moment, and there he was, pointing, shouting, celebrating like the whole stadium belonged to him. This is also when the rivalry with Lionel Messi became one of the biggest stories in sports. Messi was the natural genius. Ronaldo was the machine. Messi looked like football came from his soul. Ronaldo looked like he had built every part of himself in the gym, on the training pitch, and in his own mind. For years, fans argued. Messi or Ronaldo, talent or work ethic, Barcelona or Madrid. But the truth is, they pushed each other into history. Without Messi, Ronaldo's story is different. Without Ronaldo, Messi's story is different. Together, they made football feel like a weekly movie. But while Ronaldo was winning everything at club level, there was still one shirt that mattered in a different way. Portugal. For years, Ronaldo carried the pressure of a nation. Portugal had great players before him, but Ronaldo became the face of Portuguese football. Every tournament, the same question came back. Could he win something with his country? Then came Euro 2016. Portugal reached the final against France. This was supposed to be Ronaldo's biggest international moment. But early in the match, he got injured. He tried to continue. He cried. He came off the pitch, and for a moment it looked like his dream had been taken from him. But then something strange happened. Ronaldo did not disappear. He stood on the sideline, injured, emotional. Shouting instructions, cheering, acting like a second coach. Portugal scored in extra time. Portugal won. And Ronaldo finally had his major trophy with his country. It was not the perfect Hollywood ending where he scores the winning goal. It was messier than that, more painful, more human. And maybe that is why it mattered so much. After Real Madrid, Ronaldo went to Juventus. New country, new league, new challenge. He was already in his 30s, but he kept scoring. Then came a return to Manchester United. At first, it felt like a fairy tale, the legend coming home, the old number 7 back at Old Trafford. There were goals, there were huge moments, but it did not end perfectly. Football moved on. The club was changing. Ronaldo was changing too, and eventually he left Europe for Al Nassr in Saudi Arabia. Some people said this was the end, but Ronaldo did not treat it like the end. He treated it like another chapter. Even in his late 30s and early 40s, he kept training, kept scoring, kept acting like the next goal still mattered as much as the first one. That is the strange thing about Ronaldo. He has nothing left to prove. He has won Champions Leagues. He has won Ballon d'Ors. He has scored more goals than almost anyone in football history. He has broken records that may stand for years. He has money, fame, businesses, and global recognition. But when he misses a chance, he still looks angry. When he loses, he still looks hurt. When he scores, he still celebrates like a kid who just proved everyone wrong again. And maybe that is the secret. Deep down, part of Ronaldo is still that boy from Madeira. The boy who left home at 12. The boy who was laughed at for his accent. The boy who cried because he missed his family. The boy who knew that football was not just a game, it was his way out. Now, as Ronaldo reaches the final stage of his career, people are watching differently. Every tournament feels like it could be the last. Every big match feels heavier. Every celebration feels like something we may not see many more times. The World Cup dream has always been the one thing missing. He won almost everything else. But the World Cup remained out of reach. And that makes his story even more human, because even the greatest careers are not perfect. Even legends have heartbreak. Even Cristiano Ronaldo could not win everything. But maybe that is why his story works. It is not just about trophies, it is about hunger, discipline, ego, failure, comebacks, and refusing to become ordinary. Cristiano Ronaldo's life is easy to judge from the outside. People see the cars, the watches, the confidence, the celebration, the records. But behind all of that is a kid who had to leave home too early, grow up too fast, and fight for every inch of his dream. He was not born into football royalty. He did not come from comfort. He came from an island, from a small house, from struggle, and somehow he became one of the most famous athletes who ever lived. So when Ronaldo finally does walk away from football, the world will not just be saying goodbye to a player. It will be saying goodbye to an era of impossible jumps, last-minute goals, Champions League nights, angry celebrations, endless debates, and one man who spent his entire life trying to prove that hard work could bend destiny. Cristiano Ronaldo once said that dreams are not what you see in your sleep. Dreams are things that do not let you sleep. And whether you think he is the greatest or not, his life proved one thing. A boy can start with almost nothing and still make the whole world remember his name.